Make sure you get my video. Oh wait, it's already gone.
I thought about riding too.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't ride?
No.
Oh, well, you're lucky.
My parts would be all rusted out.
Yeah.
Whoa. You are. And so let me introduce you to both of them. They're not going to speak right away. I just want to introduce you. They're going to sit down. They're going to, maybe you can talk to them a little bit until we formally start this thing, because we're still waiting for George, I think, to come. Or are they not coming?
I think we should definitely start.
We should definitely start, right. Okay, but what we have to do before we start, we only have 2 umbrellas, so we have to escort people across the street. So give us about 10 minutes. But by the way, let me introduce you to Christian Vande Velde. Came in number 4 in last year's Tour de France. And our native son from Key Biscayne, Andrew Talansky. Welcome, gentlemen. Sorry it had to rain tonight. Oh, by the way, these guys are in town for a very special ride tomorrow morning. It's the Best Buddies ride, or it's Best Buddies is an organization that was started by Anthony Kennedy Shriver 25 years ago to help mentally and physically challenged adults find work and not be on the government dole and actually have a paycheck that they can take home and get some self-esteem and become part of the community. That's what Best Buddies is all about. And these gentlemen were very gracious to come and help with this ride tomorrow. There'll be 50 cyclists that will be riding through downtown Miami and other parts during rush hour traffic tomorrow morning. Woo! And we hope it's not going to rain, right?
Presidential motorcade.
It is going to be like a presidential motorcade. But guys, thanks for coming here and supporting Best Buddies. It's a great organization.
Yeah.
And thanks for being part of this Mack Cycle event. We're really happy that you're here. So my job now is to collect his wife and his mother and bring them across the street. Okay? So we'll be back. Just enjoy yourselves in the meantime, and we'll get started shortly.
We're ready on this side.
As soon as Andrew's wife and mother, come on, welcome. Andrew's mother, by the way, Suzanne Annick, Andrew's newlywed. So we welcome you. Okay. So without further ado, I think we're about ready to get started. Both these guys are going to share their personal success stories. Go at it, whatever you want to say. It's up to you guys, and then we'll take questions.
This is pretty cool. It really is, like all you guys during the tour and everything, hearing about everybody in Miami, being excited about it, and seeing Santi here and my first team. I wouldn't even be in cycling if it wasn't well for my mom and for this team here. They carted us all around Florida and helped us go to junior nationals, and it was, yeah, I mean, we're obviously going to talk more, but thank you, Santi. That was incredible, man. It's really good to see you. Yeah. So what do you guys want to talk about? I'm just here. Christian?
Honeymoon?
Honeymoon was good. I broke my toe, so that was unfortunate. But yeah, so I didn't get to surf as much as I would have liked to, but it was still nice. I mean, Maui is a nice place. We can never go to Paia. Ryder Hejdahl from our team, he lives there, so say hi to him and get a nice vacation in.
Hey, Andrew, why don't you tell the crowd how you got started? We hear you used to practice on our own Rickenbacker Causeway, right?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time going up and down the bridge, and I rode this morning. I went up it, and I was just like, it's funny thinking back to that, just doing like laps around, trying to train for climbing on that bridge, and that was, oh, it was hard, man. It never gets easier. Like it's the same every time.
Thank you for saying that, because I came back from the New National Day, the 200-foot climb, and I said, you know, this is ridiculous.
It is. But I mean, it was cool riding out there this morning, and it's just the same as it was. I mean, there's a little construction going on, but it's the same as it was when I left. I mean, there's people out there riding in the morning. There's people when we were driving here who hopefully didn't get caught in this little torrential downpour. But that was it. I mean, started out following my mom's boyfriend around. He's a great triathlete, and I would just follow him for hours, you know, around and around. Like I didn't even leave Key Biscayne the first couple weeks on the bike, and I was on an old orange Cervelo that was given to me by a guy who went to the Olympics for the U.S., Manny Huerta, for a triathlon. He went to the last Olympics, and then went to one race, and then thankfully Santi picked me up on laser, which is still to date like the most fun I've ever had on a team. It was just, we were traveling around Florida, and these guys, parents were coming with it. There was no reason. We were like 17, 18 years old, 15 years old, everything, and Santi was making it possible for us to travel all around the state and race, and we won pretty much everything, so that was fun. that was cool. Andres sitting right here, grew up riding and racing with him, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good memories from the Rickenbacker Causeway. It's people always wonder, they always think like, they're like, oh, are you from California? I'm like, no, Miami. And then you have to explain to them, they're like, you can show up on a Saturday morning and there's 100 people on the group ride. And to start out cycling, it's actually a great place. You can ride New Rosewood on the weekends, little local criterium, and it's, I don't know, I have to say, like, there's people come from all over the country, but I'm very, very happy, like, to be able to come back here and all the support. And there were some people over in France, you know, like in the tour, who would come up and they'd be from somewhere in Florida, and you just, it's mind-blowing, the people who show up. But being from Miami especially is, I don't know, it's always my home, no matter where I live. And you can't say it enough. Like, thank you to all of you for your support, you know, because when you're over there and racing, you know, you guys are all watching back here, and that makes it a lot more bearable and a lot more worth it. It's worth it, but there's some tough times, and when you know you have so many friends and family back home, and some people you've never even met, but who just, you know, because you're from the city, they follow you. It's pretty incredible. But,
What's the most times you've done the Causeway in a day? Someone has to have like a record.
somebody does, yeah. Anybody know what the record is? Yeah. No?
I remember you described it once as a speed bump.
Yeah.
Oh man, as long as I could see. I was like, oh my god, this is great, but for bicycle advocacy, it's probably not a good thing, you know. And all you guys, like, they don't probably ride every day, but tomorrow I got to go back and train. This guy's gonna run me off the road and kill me. But yeah.
Possibility.
Exactly. But no, I listened to Andrew just talk. I grew up in Chicago, so I feel a lot of the same sentiment as him. Is you know, there's not exactly so many Tour de France riders that come out of Miami nor Chicago. And you know, case in point, you guys have the Causeway, and I have like my hill, which is an overpass too that goes into my town. So we're all in the same boat there. But you know, it's people like you guys who have always had that support, and then you think back at when the times are nasty, of all the people who are so excited that you're in the Tour de France and doing something that they can't even believe happened when you're 16 years old and doing the group ride. But anyway, it's pretty cool to see. You should be proud.
We are. We are. Very proud.
You guys have some questions?
How'd you get started?
I definitely had a different start. My dad was a two-time Olympian, and '68 and '72, and he's one of the bad guys in breaking away, and he has quite the pedigree. So I had some big shoes to fill in the household. But you know, my dad was the opposite. He didn't push me to get into cycling at all. He was actually had to, you know, hold both hands on the reins, keeping me back from getting into cycling because he knew of how hard of a sport it was. And you see so many kids who are amazing when they're 12, all the way through they're 18, and by the time they're 19, they're like, forget about it, you know, or they get a license and they see girls and they're like, wow. So I was kind of like the opposite. I just kept on getting more and more into it. So yeah, I mean, I started in track cycling, and because you know, again, in Chicago there's not much road racing. Then I won the points race when I was 18 years old, and went straight there into to the national team. They asked me if, you know, I was all enrolled in college, had my classes, everything. They asked me if I wanted to go to Australia for school, and I was like, Australia. that was pretty much it. Yeah. So I raced the track for another couple of years, and then realized that I'm much too skinny and too small of a guy to do really well on the track, and came over and started racing on the road. Long story short.
So how was the tour? How is it to really actually do the tour?
Tour is amazing, and tour is, you know, even you know, I did it 11 times, and looking back now, I mean, I crashed out this year, and I came back to see the guys and do a little bit of TV work and stuff like that, and I saw it for the first time outside, looking in, and that blew my mind actually, because you know when you're racing the tour, you're in a bubble, and you're so concerned about what your own well-being, and you know you're eating right, and you know, getting sleep, and do a couple of emails with your friends and family, phone call with your wife, and that's pretty much it. And you're in that bubble, you don't see much. But then when you see outside all the people and how much trouble they went through to go and see us knuckleheads try to go fast up hills, it kind of blows your mind. And you know, just the whole song. So I did the Alpe d'Huez, and I saw the time trial, and then I saw Champs-Élysées from the outside this year. And you know, and luckily enough, I took helicopters with the VIPs. I didn't have to go in the, you know, so I got the nice treatment for sure. But you know, just seeing how big it was, it really blew my mind. But as far as racing goes, I mean, it's the big show. You know, there's nothing like it. No matter how they change the races around, the tour is always the biggest tour, and the tour is the biggest race, excuse me. And yeah, there's nothing like it. You know, but there's times though that it's a very stressful event, and I think I had seen enough of that. But young whippersnappers. And